Not the result you guys wanted, not making the postseason, but personally for you, this has got to be the season you've been kind of waiting on, yeah?
Yeah, for sure. Just speaking on myself personally, it worked a lot, leading up in this season, had some goals for myself. We're just happy to finally showcase that on the field.
You, I guess, share any of those goals you set out?
Yeah, I actually did have I think, I'm not huge on numbers goals and all that, because, I think you can just frustrate yourself. But I actually had a friend just kind of randomly, he texted me, right before the season, and he said 7 and 850, and was like, what are you talking about? He's like 7 touchdowns, 850 yards, and which I do like the 850 because, that's 50 yards a game. And, I think I ended up just right around there. Got the 7 touchdowns. Was just short of 850, but I missed a game with a concussion, so I got the 50 yards a game.
Was that a former teammate or a friend of yours?
It was really just a friend from home. He never even really played. He's a fan of football, but he didn't play football. But yeah,
he guessed that pretty well.
He guessed that pretty well, and we really manifested. I think he kind of just, that might have to be a part of my future. Planning for the season is to set goals for myself in that way, because I think it kind of was something that I was, just keep working towards that. Because I in the past I never really liked to make goals for myself like that, just because I feel like it can lead to some frustration, and it's not, number one is the team. I got to be focused on the team. The goal should be winning. So. I always felt like that's a little bit of distraction from that, but I think it helped elevate my game, which in turn should help elevate the team. So,
what's the feeling having led the NFL in yards per catch?
It's cool. Obviously being number one in something is a big deal. So, it was a cool thing to do that. Hopefully, I tell everyone just I don't really care about the yards per catch that much, because that just means I'm not. I would rather just get more catches and more yards. I'll take a 10-yard catch here and there, get more yards, but and that'll ultimately bring that number down. But hopefully we can build on that and get more yards next year.
It kind of felt like a lot of times, if you were in press and there was no safety up over the top, the ball was going to you. How much confidence did that just kind of instill in you that you'd get those opportunities down the field?
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. It felt like it kind of brought me back to college. That's how it always was for me in college. Teams just learn not to press me, because or if you do, you got to put a safety over the top, because that one-on-one is going to be thrown to me, and I'm going to make that play way more likely than they are. So, that's. It's definitely kind of always been my game, and it's good to be doing it at this level.
Did you almost take pride then, and you would see press, but if you saw that safety up over the top, knowing, okay, hey, that's one fewer guy down in the box to stop the run?
For sure. Yeah, and, cover 2, safety over the top. I hate seeing that in the game, but at least then, okay, that should open up the run game. That should help, other people.
Is it hard to set personal goals, because a lot of it's out of your control?
For sure, and that's why.
Call or quarterbacks, it's really hard to.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said earlier. I never was a fan of setting a yardage goal or stuff like that, but kind of had somebody set it for me this year, and that it seemed to work out, and so it might have to become part of my future.
When you're able to hit goals like that, it was another year where quarterbacks were just in and out for injuries and what other reasons. I mean, how encouraged are you that if you can get to a point where you and Anthony are playing together a lot, that can become?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I always just feel it. The more you get to play with a quarterback, as the weeks go on, you kind of build that trust with them, and then, then they're just changing to another one. It kind of resets the whole thing. You just kind of got to start back over on that. So, it definitely will help just getting the more consistent quarterback play, just knowing who's going to be out there throwing to you, and then they understand your game. They know, you might learn, this one thing from this week, and then they remember that the next week, and it's kind of just building on that constantly.
Do you think the guys in this locker room can get this turned around moving forward next season?
I do.
What's the biggest thing, through all the frustrations and everything, this season has taught you moving forward?
Just to take things day by day. Control you can control. That's kind of my mindset the whole year. Just going into camp, I knew opportunities are going to be limited. We got a lot of good receivers, so there's only one ball to go around. So I just really told myself, whatever opportunity I get, try to make the most of it, and that's kind of been my mindset the whole year, and just try to control what I can control. I can't call the play call. I can't throw the ball to myself. I can't protect, and it's all those things. That's the tough part about being a receiver is you rely on you're really kind of trusting your whole team to get all the job done, and I feel like they did a good job this year. Everyone kind of, when it was my chance to get a shot downfield, quarterback made the throw, the protection was there, the coverage worked out, so yeah, it felt like a lot of things fell in place.
How do you balance the inherent, I guess, selfishness you have to have as a wide receiver versus, like you said, kind of sharing those opportunities?
Yeah, I think I always struggle with the selfish thing. I don't think you need to be selfish as a receiver, and that's kind of my main argument with a lot of receivers is like I always try to be a team first person, and maybe that's why I don't get as many targets as some people, but I never want to be somebody who's complaining about getting the ball because, like, to me, if the team's winning for sure, you can't complain. And then, if it's losing, then I just know I gotta make the play when I get the opportunity. So, I try not to be selfish in that way because I always try to put the team first.
Are you hoping to, meet up with Anthony in the offseason and throw stuff like that? And have you guys talked through that at all?
For sure. He asked me a little bit yesterday where I was going to be at, and I think he said he's going to be down in Florida, so I'll have to go meet up with him. But yeah, I haven't planned what I'm doing at all, so I'm sure, I'll see where he's at and link up.
We know the receiver room is a tight group, but now the season's over. How much did the Colts drafting AD motivate you?
It definitely motivated me. I think, I think it made me more comfortable in the fact that, like, competition's kind of been my whole, like really ever since I started playing football, like really once it got serious, varsity level high school, I'd say, I've always been in a position of competition. I've always had somebody kind of there pushing me. So I feel like it just brought in a whole new extra level of comfort, just knowing that, like, okay, everything I got to be on is on point because I got somebody right here at my heels trying to take my spot. So, I think it just brought that comfort, because the same thing that happened in college. I was always just kind of battling for a spot. And I think it just, made things a little bit more like, okay, I'm really, like, if I'm out here playing, I really earned it. I'm supposed to be here. And just, it wasn't just, this job was just given to me,